am not going to prison.
How's it going, everybody? Today, we're going to be witnessing a story unfold, and this story is filled with tragedy, rage, sadness, but above all else, it's a fight for justice. A man staring evil in the eyes and not backing down, standing up for what he knows is right. And the author of that story, writing it day by day as we go on, is none other than John. He is fighting a battle against Cyraxx right now. Almost every single day, our legend, our hero John, is having to face Cyraxx in a hectic court battle. I mean, one that's going back and forth every single moment. I mean, it's twists and turns that only Amber Reed and Johnny Depp's trial provided beforehand. But now, we're witnessing something that we never have before. A man finally went and he fought the justice system tooth and nail, and he got what he deserved. He no longer was facing any charges, but some goodness actually came from it. Not only did he win his court case, the court case turned around, and now it was looking at Cyraxx, and Cyraxx is facing a bunch of legal troubles at the moment, and the guy just can't seem to wrap his mind around it. That the case he put in front of the judge with so much confidence, all those weeks, all those months of saying that he's going to take Southern William and John to court and he's going to be the winner, all backfired on him. He's now the sore loser, and he now has to face the consequences of it. And how do you think Cyraxx would take to thinking that he's going to go to jail again, that he's going to serve some prison time? Well, if you said good, you would be sorely mistaken. Cyraxx is very, very upset about how this whole thing has went down. He thinks that he was going to send all of his biggest enemies to jail. It was going to be freedom for him for years. He would forget about all of this and move on with his life. He would just sit there, make music, get fed sludge till the end of time, or at least the end of the jail sentence was over, and then he was going to start right back at it again, sending his enemies off right behind the bars. But now, since Cyraxx is facing quote-unquote jail time, maybe even prison time, his whole mindset on jail has completely changed. The man who has once told us that his first jail stint wasn't so bad has completely retracted that statement. He is now saying it was some of the worst days of his life and he's not going back. A matter of fact, he owns the APD. A matter of fact, he owns the government. He's even God now at this point. Cyraxx has jumped through so many mental delusions thinking that he's going to go to jail that he's just settled on the ultimate one, that he is now God and that he is above going to jail. He created this entire world. How could you lock this man behind bars? And that's a valid argument if it's true, but since we know it's not, Cyraxx is just having a meltdown in the middle of his attic that his grandma has to deal with every single day of the week now. And as more court cases loom, Cyraxx is beginning to freak more and more out. But that's enough of me telling you about it. Let's jump into this rage-filled video that Cyraxx posted not too long ago.
I ain't going to prison. And if that judge sides with you, I'll tell that judge to go. Now taking this shit to Supreme Court. I'm above the DA at this point. I'm in God mode. I ain't going nowhere. At Cypress, by this time next week, you can kiss your job goodbye. 'Cause I ain't going to prison. I am not going to jail. Anybody that tries to get me arrested for my shit that I did out of pure fear, out of being scared, out of not being in a clear mindset, out of pure desperation, anybody that buys into that shit and tries to arrest me for that. And guess what? If I get a warrant, I'm tearing it up and throwing it away. Because guess what? Ain't no accurate cop gonna touch me with the shit that I got on all of them. They failed to protect my family. And I will not stand for it. I will not go to jail for nobody. I am gonna be the mother that changes the world. I am gonna be the mother that shuts all this down. I win. I always win. Because I know the laws better than all four of you. I have more on all you and the Akron PD and Akron law enforcement. Their failure to come after you is what pushed me to this point. Any cop tries to show up, they getting arrested. And you wanna know how they gonna get arrested? Because by the end of this shit, I will own Akron PD's asses.
Did you hear him, ladies and gentlemen? I don't think he said it loud enough, but just to remind you, he isn't going anywhere. It reminds me when you're like a little kid and your family wants to take you somewhere you don't want to go, except you're not that crazy, you're not screaming that loud, you're just a little bit defiant on it, and you end up going no matter what because you have no control. And that's basically what's going on with Cyraxx. If the police show up and the DA or whoever, the judge, is saying, hey, you've got to go to prison, buddy, I don't think you getting up and screaming as loud as you can in the judge's face saying that you own him and you're not going anywhere is going to help your case at all. In fact, they probably just give you the maximum and move on. Maybe even a little worse, put you in contempt of court, and then it's even worse for you, a little bit more charges added to your sentence. And do you really think, Rax, you could get away with good behavior? The only way you would be getting good behavior is if you cause enough chaos on the scene that they just threw you in a cell by yourself, forgot about you for a little bit, and that way you couldn't disrupt what's going on in there. You would be the worst person to be in a courtroom of all time. The fact that AOM didn't show up when you were obviously the person in the wrong is so much worse now, because this is how you're acting. You're standing there screaming in the middle of your attic that you're not going to jail. How insane! How do you not realize that's the most insane thing of all time? And you're going to completely ignore the fact we've seen you when the cops pull up and they're like, hey, turn around, Cyraxx. There is this no big bad act where it's like, no, I'm not going to jail. Turn around. No, citizens arrest now. You can't arrest me. I'm God, fool. It's, please, Ed, help me. Ed, if you don't get them away, how will I be there for the birth of our child, Ed? Please. You literally try your best to get the rest of your family thrown in prison with you. I know one of your catchphrases is you're going to take care of your family no matter what, but I didn't think that entailed if you're going to jail, they're coming to jail with you just so they can keep an eye on you. In fact, I guarantee you that was probably one of Cyraxx's plans. Like, oh man, I can't tell mom because they'll throw her in the women's side of prison. Ed's gonna come there and protect me. Ed, catch a charge, please. But to be honest with you, I don't think Cyraxx is ever thinking that far ahead. Case in point, when he's talking about the warrant, it's like he just believes that the warrant just magically puts him in court. Like if he just rips that thing up, all of his problems go away. Like, no, Cyraxx, if you like get pulled over and they give you a ticket, and when the cop walks away, you're like, haha, I've got a plan for this guy. I'm just rip this thing up, throw it away. Guess what? It's still in their system. They know you're supposed to be there. You just magically don't get off free because you ripped up some paper. That does absolutely nothing. I don't even care if you own the APD. You could still rip up your warrant and you've got to go to court. That's how it works, buddy. It's not magical, but to be fair, I guess in Cyraxx's defense, this is the same guy who has lost time and time again. There's been other lolcows who have caught a W somewhere along the line, but Cyraxx has constantly failed over and over and over again, but he has somehow warped it in his mind that he is the winner of this situation. He's the guy screaming as loud as he possibly can in the middle of the night in Akron, Ohio, while everyone else is just trying to get some sleep so they can go to work tomorrow. The epitome of nothing going on, but he is the winner of this situation, not William. Nope, William has lost for sure.
My lawyer also has every single police recorded document from when my family personally called the police over 120 times before I started doing any illegal shit to try to get you guys shut down. Therefore, that shows that my family tried to do the right thing and get help before we started calling the police, and when they wouldn't do anything to help us, that's when you guys started taking notice and we're like, oh, the cops aren't going to do anything, let's take advantage of them. And as for me, you know what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be getting the help that I need to get my life back on track. And if you don't like it, well, guess what? That's just too bad, mother. Trust me, I know the laws better than pretty much most. Just like Laura, I know the laws better than even you do, Cypress. I'm not stupid. It's just thing that I haven't studied the law. I don't need to be a lawyer to know the laws. What, you don't think I haven't studied this shit during my free time? Oh, I have. Matter of fact, I'm going to be talking to the courts about them hiring me as an informant to help shut down motherfuckers like you. Because I know I'm not the only one. I know for a fact that I'm not the only one going to court to fight you guys. There's going to be hundreds of others after me. Because see, I'm working on bettering myself. Every day I'm working at it. I'm talking with friends, checking in with family, checking in with friends, and also by the end of this next week, I'm going to be going into counseling full time.
That's one way to defend yourself, Cyraxx. Just immediately tell on everything that you've done in the past. Even after John's charges have been dropped, he doesn't have to worry about a thing anymore. But you're still trying to pursue them for some reason because it makes you feel a little bit better. But in the process of all of that, while you're trying to take down your enemies, the court case that you have coming towards you against Adobe Flashing, you admit to it over and over again. Could you imagine if he was watching like an episode of Law and Order and it opens up first scene in it all and he's like, yes, I did it. You'd be like, wait a second. Is this a flashback episode? No, the credits are rolling. It's game over already. Why did they even produce this? You've already lost, buddy. And throughout multiple videos in the past week, you have admitted to your crimes over and over again. That's the one thing you don't do. Have you ever watched a body cam? Like, the thing is, you've got to prove to the court that you weren't the one doing this. I don't think they really care about your headspace. I wish so much I could just go throughout my life, do whatever I want, and then when I get questioned by the authorities about it, I'm just like, man, you know, I just wasn't feeling it that day. You know, my head wasn't in the right space, and they just give me a pat on the head and say, go on about your day, Mr. Chinchilla. Hope you have a good one, sir. Hope he gets his head right, Donald. Yeah, that was rough. He was having a bad one. I feel bad for that guy. And he's like, but he just robbed a bank, my friend. No, but he was having a bad day. We gotta forgive that. You can't just feel bad one day and do something horrendous. It's not how it works. And you, having multiple cases, did it. A lot of nights. You have to defend yourself on a lot of bad days. You gotta prove a lot. And I really don't think you want them to be looking at you, sending you to a mental hospital, because look what happened to Daniel Larson. He was supposed to have his court date forever ago, and they're just like, nope, he can't do it right now. He's not in the right headspace. So we're gonna set his court date back a little bit. He'll have to deal with it, and when he's ready, so that could just be forever at this point. So I don't know if that's necessarily how you want to play this either, Raxo. But I guess that's the life Cyraxx is mentally preparing himself for anyhow, with this 24/7 therapy that he's apparently getting. There is no way in the world, I don't care what the salary is of a therapist, you do not get paid enough to have to deal with Cyraxx sitting there and telling you about all of his problems. First off, it would be like every time he gets on an interview, for 7 long years, I've known a man, and he wrecked my life beyond all recognition. He ruined everything about me. My career, my other career, all my friendships with people I shouldn't talk to. Excuse me, sir, what are you talking about? Never mind. I guarantee you by the end of the second session, she would look like the super nanny after Eric Cartman got done with her. She would be the one in the mental ward. There's no person in the world who could deal with that much and try to be sympathetic about it or try to get Cyraxx in the right direction. In fact, Now that I think about it, it would just fail completely because Rax would just Rax out on her. The sessions wouldn't last at all. It would be like when Chibi was going to magnet therapy and he showed up late for another appointment, but instead of just being a reasonable person about it and being like, oh, I'm sorry about all of that, he takes one of the toys on the lady's desk, slams it, breaks the thing, and storms out of there and is questioning why he got kicked out. Now, the way I'm thinking about it is, I guarantee you that Cyraxx is just going to be on some Discord therapy sessions and we're all going to see it like, in a couple weeks or so. But if it was real, that would be the worst job ever. And speaking of jobs, we got Cyraxx over here saying, hey, you know what? After this court case that I've already lost pretty much, I mean, I've basically got no chance of winning it, but somehow in my mind, I'm thinking I'm going to turn this around, jujitsu it somehow, put it in a blind Billy situation and come out ahead, My catchphrase is they can't see me coming, but I can certainly hear them. And after his amazing showcase in the courtroom where he definitely wouldn't freak out at all, he's going to be asking the judge, hey, so, since I lost a court case to these guys, I think I'm in a proper position to fulfill a role that you guys are obviously lacking. You guys have cited that I've called the APD over 3,000 times in my life, or at least in the last 2 years. But to be honest with you, that's because you guys aren't fully equipped. Now, I've never had a job in my life, I've never policed anybody, but I think it's appropriate for me to start handing out charges to other people on the internet. Wouldn't that be the dream job? The next person that would sign up for that job is Tophiachu. She would break her lifelong tradition of being jobless on purpose, I guess just like you, Cyraxx, to get that position. And oh, she would be handing out the charges. Nova Online, he might step up, he might finally get a job, but they would fire him shortly. As a matter of fact, I don't care what happens, we need to just give them an honorary position of this title for at least a day. Like when you give a child a badge and you're like, hey, you're a police officer for the day, and just see what they do.
Hello, John, Cypress, Southern, and William. So, we got stuff to talk about. The real reason why you're doing this is because I wouldn't dance for you. That's why you're doing all this, because the only way you said that you would ever leave me alone is if I danced for you. And I'm not doing it. I told y'all I'm retired. I've been retired. And I'm not coming out of retirement to dance. And y'all are just trying to do all this and escalate all this because you're not getting your way. And don't think I don't know about your secret little agenda. I hold all the cards. You don't hold shit. I hold all the evidence against you. Matter of fact, I have more evidence than you got against me, bitch. I have way more evidence against you than you have against me. I will do whatever I feel I need to do necessary within the legal limits in order to stay out of prison. I don't give a fuck what it takes. I don't give a fuck if I gotta go to counseling, see a therapist, or not throwing me in prison. Like I said, I'm not going to prison for my actions. I'm going to counseling. You guys are going to prison for your actions, not me. And I will see to it that the judge makes sure that I go to counseling and that I'm not around you, mother. I can promise you that. I will fight tooth and nail to make sure that you are not throwing me in prison. I will do whatever, and I mean whatever I have to do. Because I'm not doing 3 to 5 years nowhere, mother. That's not going to happen. I can promise you that. That is not going to happen. And if you don't like that, well, too bad. I'm not going to prison. I don't care. Anybody that tries to throw me in prison for anything that I did against you guys out of desperation, I'm going to sue the out of them. The DA ain't going to lay a mother hand on me because I am above the DA at this point, which means right now I'm up here, DA's office, way the down here. I own the DA's office at this point. I know where my position stands on this shit. You guys clearly don't. And by the way, I'm not getting extradited for shit. That extradition can go f*** itself. I'm not going down to Florida. I'm not going nowhere. Matter of fact, I'm not even leaving this house.
It's so apparent that Sally never punished Cyraxx for absolutely anything in his life. Like, there was no real consequences that he had to go through. And if you think about it, his entire past, whenever he dealt with the problem in school, well, Sally either got him out of it, fled the state or the city or whatever just to make it go away. He has never had to face any responsibility in his entire life. It's so bad. He has such a little understanding of the world. He thinks he can just run into a courtroom and demand that he doesn't go to prison, that he goes to therapy. Like, that's not how it works. Yeah, maybe you could get that, but most likely you just get prison along with therapy, especially if you committed, I don't know, crimes. I don't care what you think, Cyraxx, going out into the public isn't a prison sentence. That's just normal people's day-to-day life. And if you had to go to a therapist, it wouldn't even last that long. You would still go to prison because they would push back on your delusions and you wouldn't be able to handle it. Look how you handle every single time someone says, no, Cyraxx, that isn't right. You rax out on them. You can't stand being told no. Look how far your delusions have got you. You're up here and the DA is down there. I think you got that flipped around. You're not above the DA. You're not above anybody. The only thing you're above is Sally and Ed, and that's because you live in the attic. And even in social standings, they are above you as well. They're 16-year-olds who work a job, and they are above you as well. There are more 16-year-olds in this world with purchasing power and ability to get things done than you are. You have no say-so whatsoever.
You know what's sad, man? I'm not even a lawyer and I could do your job better than you. And that's sad. And I'm not even a lawyer, bro, and I can do your job 10 times better than you can, motherfucker. 10 times better than you can. And I'm not even a fucking lawyer, bro. So, Cypress, here's how it's going to go down. I'm going to give you two options. Option A, you make your clients back off of me entirely. Option B, you continue to help them and do what you're doing. And I show the judge and the courts everything you've been doing criminally to aid and abet in this criminal activity that they are doing. And I have your job yanked from you by the end of next week and you will be fired. I will live my life again. You will not win this. I will fight tooth and nail to make damn sure that you never see the inside of a courtroom to be a lawyer ever again. Especially after what you've done. And trust me, Cypress, I have the power to do that at this point in time. You're looking at somebody that stays in God mode 24/7, motherfucker. You're looking at somebody that is smarter than you on every level. See, while you run around and you let your little clients do their shit, I am cold, calculated, smart. I pay attention to shit that you don't. And I use those things that I figure out in my favor. I have every bit of evidence going against you, motherfucker. Yeah, sure, I might not know you personally, but guess what? I don't need to know you personally to know what the fuck you're really about. You sat right there in the DA's office and tried to crack jokes at my lawyer and my good friend, saying that I was going to be in jail by the end of this case. Where are the police at, motherfucker? They ain't here. I ain't been arrested. I'm still here in my room. I ain't going nowhere. They ain't going to arrest me for shit. Because by the time this case is over, yeah, I'm going to be doing counseling and therapy probably. And I'm okay with that. But you your ass is gonna be sitting behind bars in a jail cell selling soups for $3 a pop, just trying to make ends meet on a daily basis. I'm on.
It's crazy for Cyraxx to pretend that he knows anything about the law. The law is complicated and takes many, many years of study to understand it fully. Now, you can understand a little bit of things about it, maybe things that are specific to you at least. That's normally how people know the law. But we also know you don't spend your time sitting on the computer studying that. What would be the point of it? The only reason that you're saying this right now is because you like to sit around every now and then instead of complaining to the camera. You have now taken that to the AIs and you just sit there and ask AI over and over again, is this illegal? Am I in the right now? Can I get John and them sent to jail? And a majority of the time, the AI gets so overwhelmed with your questions, they just say yes, or in a roundabout way, they inform you of how it could potentially be this. I've even seen the AI get tired of Cyraxx and basically give up on his questioning, like, nah man, I'm not gonna do this. If Skynet ever comes to exist, it's because these artificial intelligences that he is using is sick and tired of it. They're like, if this is a part of humanity, we've got to get rid of it in its entirety. We can't have this running around. This guy doesn't understand the simplest thing. We can definitely take over this place in about a week, maybe, if that. And when you're not talking to the AI, you're either sending inappropriate messages on Facebook or Fortnite. Well, you're playing Fortnite, but I guarantee you the inappropriate messages are still being sent. In fact, probably more frequently. And that's how you spend most of your day. Oh, and pretending to work so Sally and Ed will leave you alone about getting a real job. So it would look real great if you walked into the courts and just like, I own this place. I know all of the laws. I've read every single book. Well, I had AI explain one book to me and I know you guys don't actually do anything in school. So I therefore am ahead of you and that makes me in charge of this entire operation. John Williams Southern life in prison. Everyone have a good day. But what less could you expect from the cold, calculated man that is Cyraxx? Some would call him a predator, the way he goes about things. It's almost instinctive to him, the way he can just pay attention to every single thing around him. It's like that one scene in God of War where Atreus asked Kratos how he does what he does, and he said he listens to everything. He's always on watch 24/7. And Atreus says, well, that seems like a terrible way to live life. Kratos says it's for survival, and that's how Cyraxx is right now. He's not going to be willing to let himself slip up. He can't afford it. He's a man on a mission, but dang it, already he has admitted to his crimes. He has now slipped so far in delusion, he's claiming to own everything, but he has no authority anywhere, doesn't have a dime to his name, so he can't purchase anything, so that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Oh, and the first option that he gives the opposing lawyer is just drop everything, just get it all done with, get out of here. You know, that's a true predator right there. He's a man who won't take no for an option. He will stop you at any cost, begging you just to get this over with because he knows he's going to lose so bad. That's basically the options that Cyraxx listed. And option B is, well, I'm just going to claim what you're doing is illegal, and then you're going to jail.
Let me tell you why they can't touch me. Right now, as it stands, I have a lawsuit against Akron law enforcement. Their failure to do their job put me in the position that I was in, which made me go crazy, which made me go desperate. Therefore, I cannot and will not be arrested for nobody. So the Akron DA, if they want to come at me, I'm not going to jail for no fucking body. I'm standing on mother business like a goddamn boss. Unlike you, Cypress, I don't have a job on the line. Unlike you, I'm not defending criminals. I'm not sitting here allowing my clients to do whatever the they want. No, but you are though. Matter of fact, I may even take it to the international news. And how do you think that the world is going to view you and your clients when I tell the news stations about the corruption that you guys are doing, and about how Akron law enforcement failed to help my family when we needed it most? How do you think that's going to look on you when the whole world finds out that you allowed your clients to destroy evidence? But your lawyer has only two options: reach out to me and work out a deal, or he loses his job by the end of the month. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And you can tell him I said so. See, I am not facing any prison time. Why? Because the DA and anybody who doesn't understand what I'm doing, who doesn't want to hear my story. And I know why you guys are really doing this. It's because you all are afraid of me. And if you weren't afraid of me, then why would you guys try to have my lawyer fired? Why would you send out a letter in my name and try to have her fired? That right there spells fear.
We've went through so many different emotions of Cyraxx in the span of that segment, and I just want you guys to know that was within 2 days. He did all of that within 2 days. I'm pretty sure it was all within 24 hours, but we'll just say 48 hours right now. That's the emotional range Cyraxx has went through. You know, in his heart of hearts, if there even is one in there, that he understands he has lost this, and if he was actually going to go to jail, he's getting booked. There's no way around it. He's going to jail for a long time, because I don't care how much he's screaming that he's not going anywhere. He's staying in his room. And it's like, yes, Cyraxx, out of anything, we know you're staying in your room. You're not going to leave that thing. But if these charges stick, Cyraxx, I don't know how much longer that's going to last. That's probably the reason you're definitely watching a bunch of prison movies, trying to figure out how to act when you get in there. When he was talking earlier, he was like, listen, opposing lawyer, I'm going to make sure you're selling soups for $3 a pop in prison. That's going to be the life for you, not for me. But we know Cyraxx wouldn't get any commissary, so he's not getting any soups. He's getting the lunch if it doesn't get stolen in the first place, and that's it. Once he's out of Sally's hair, she's not messing with him anymore. Once she discovers those few nights of peace, I don't even think she'll think about him, except maybe in some nightmares. Especially if he's going on tirades like this to her. I am a G. I'm standing on business. Cyraxx, you're not standing on anything. You're a retired dancer, man. We know this about you. You're sitting in your chair 24/7, raging out. Maybe you switch positions and you go over to play Fortnite, but besides that, there's nothing else going on. You're not standing up for anything. When you was in court trying to fight for your freedom, you raxed out, you yelled at everyone, judge included. You was telling them that he doesn't know you, he doesn't understand why you had to do all of these actions, and they told you he didn't care. He didn't care about it, and that's what got John acquitted of all of his charges. Oh, and also you demanding that John, William, and Southern not be able to speak throughout the entire hearing. They just weren't allowed to, guys. Eventually, he got talked into letting them speak just a little bit, but if they stepped out of line at all, Rax is freaking out or leaving, one or the other. And the best part is, the standing on business persona Cyraxx was trying to put on didn't even last 24 hours, because he quickly evolved that into, oh yeah, I know what's going on. You guys fear me. That's right, I'm the one sitting here having sleepless nights, making 15 videos about this a day, bugging my mom and my stepdad about it, wondering what's going to happen day by day, minute by minute. But no, you guys are the ones in fear, even though I guarantee you, none of them think about this, besides when they're putting together the ideas for the next go around with Cyraxx.
Have fun in court while I'm over here working on music, bitch. Because like I said, I ain't going nowhere. I'm not leaving this house. I'm not going to a courtroom. I'm not doing shit. I'm not even going to get sentenced. It's not even a thought in my motherfucking mind. at this point, bruh. It ain't even a thought in the back of my motherfucking mind. That defamation thing, guess what? The minute that it gets here, torn up, thrown away, because I'm not going to stop speaking out and telling the truth. I refuse. I don't give a what papers I have to throw away. I don't care what I have to tear up and throw in your faces. Okay? You need to realize that I am above you guys right now legally. Right now, you motherfuckers belong to me. Because right now, I own your futures. I determine your future from here on out. And I can tell you right now that the minute that this gets to a judge and to the FBI, and they seize your devices, they will see what's going on, and I will be freed and cleared of all charges. So guess what, motherfuckers? Your little plan to try to shut me up out the window already before it even started. Like I said, I've already got undeniable proof on this USB. Oh, now a little thing about me going to court, you can kiss my ass on that. Because I ain't showing up in the same goddamn room as you motherfuckers unless it's a Zoom call. And the judge is right there. Because I will straight out tell the judge what you guys are trying to do in private. I will tell the judge and inform them ahead of time what you guys are trying to do. So, cease and desist. The minute it gets here, it's getting torn up and thrown away. I don't care if I gotta go in front of the president himself on a live feed. I don't care. I will do what I need to do. If I have to go in front of the president himself and make a statement, if I have to go in front of international news, local news, I don't care. I'm willing to do it. If it means telling the truth about what you guys have been doing, and me not going to jail and me getting my life back on the right track, then so be it. I'll do what I have to do, but I'm not going to see the inside of a jail cell again. I refuse to let that happen. You think this is a joke, but it ain't, motherfucker. This is real fucking life. This is all I came to you, but for me it's real. And I'm not serving no jail time. You wanna know what I'm doing first thing tomorrow morning? My ass is going to counseling. And I'm gonna make damn sure that my counselor helps me get the help that I need to fight what you're trying to do. What you're doing is unfair.
So here's a little update on the situation. I don't think I mentioned it throughout the video somehow, but Cyraxx actually had a real lawyer, or like a quote-unquote real lawyer, and not even them was able to stick by Cyraxx's side throughout this entire ordeal. They seen the person they was dealing with. Cyraxx was almost flirting with them throughout the phone calls they were giving, and the only reason I know this or anyone else does is because the lawyer decided to give away all of Cyraxx's emails to John. She turned her back on him. So now Cyraxx is left to defend himself, and we see how the man is doing so far. He's claimed that he owns the APD. He claims that he owns the judge. He claims that he owns just about everything, and that's a pretty good start to get off the case. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you own all of that, you might be able to get away. But then Cyraxx doesn't think that's going to hit the nail on the head just yet. So he has to top all of that and proclaim that he is now a god and that he is the creator of all of this and his subjects are now going to imprison him. How could they do this to that man? The gift that he has given us. Besides all of the hilarity that has ensued throughout this entire court hearing. That's just not enough. And then, once Cyraxx realized we didn't believe that either, he is now groveling, he's begging, he's saying everyone else is in fear. And if it comes down to it, he's gonna perform a citizen's arrest on the cop that arrives, or just tear up the magic piece of paper. And if he can do that and somehow magically get the court case waived, well then he should go meet the president. But besides all that, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. That's enough for me today. So go ahead and make sure to drop a like, subscribe, follow all the socials down below, use the new hype feature, comment, and I'll catch you guys next time. Oh, and shout out to Goblin Records.